I'm Dr. Shakir Abdullah. I'm the Assistant Vice President in the Office for Equity and Diversity here at the University of Minnesota. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our program, the CORE 2025 program. CORE stands for Community, Outreach, Retention, and Engagement. And I'll get to why we've got 2025 after that as well. So a little bit about our vision. As Minnesota's flagship land-grant institution, we have an imperative to compete at the highest level with our peers and really making sure that we're enhancing diversity in our undergraduate population here at the University of Minnesota. We recognize that the K-12 population is increasingly diverse here in the state of Minnesota, and paying attention to the gaps that exist. We heard a little bit about the gaps just a moment ago between white students and multicultural students. We were excited to launch this program. So the notion of the CORE 2025 program is that we would be a high-touch, early outreach cohort pipeline program. Our goal is to build a larger pool of academically prepared, college-ready, multicultural students. And what we decided to do, and our limitation is based on our staff capacity, we decided to identify 500 first-generation and multicultural students in the 8th grade, with the end goal being that we enroll and graduate a cohort of multicultural students starting the first graduation class would be the class of 2025. So that would be this year's 8th graders. Fortunately, we were supported by some outside benefactors. We were able to start a year earlier. So our first cohort is actually the class of 2024. So we're on our way. Our framework. What we want to do is we want to make sure that the kids that are in this program are exposed to the University of Minnesota and many more opportunities outside of the University of Minnesota. We want to bring them to campus. We bring them to campus about 4 times a year. One of those is, we bring them in the fall to get them started, to get an introduction to the program. As we recruit them, we bring them back for our MLK concert in January, and then we also find other opportunities to engage with them. We provide some academic enrichment workshops, and we also provide mentoring. We are in the process now of hiring work study students to serve as mentors for these students so that they have another layer of contact and communication with people who are already in the university and folks who have been able to navigate the same path that they seek to walk upon. In the summer, we bring them back to campus and host a summer summit. Our goal is to hear from these students and really understand what we can do better. We see this as an ever-evolving program and a program that's really designed to be responsive to what the students need. It was interesting as we heard the last presentation and the stories and the question that was asked about language. That's an opportunity for us. We're not quite there yet. We need to make sure we have some additional translations of the work that we're able to do. So far, we've just been able to translate some of our work into Spanish because we do have Spanish-speaking staff in the Multicultural Center for Academic Excellence who work with us. We partner with a program called Raise Me. Raise Me provides micro grants, so it's designed to help students really earn funds through what they're doing already, through civic engagement, through getting good grades in school, and students will earn at least $2,500 to go towards their tuition at the University of Minnesota, because the University of Minnesota is just one of the many schools that are partners with Raise Me. And one of the things that Raise Me just announced is that those students who have to take care of their family members and become caretakers for younger siblings or for parents or other folks in their family, they can now get credit towards their tuition for that kind of civic engagement and that kind of support. So we're happy to partner with them. A large component of what we're doing is the On Track to Post-Secondary Education program. This program is a free high school navigation and college readiness program. What happens is On Track gives students 1 to 2 videos each week to watch different topics related to different years. So freshman year or 9th grade year, you would have access to topics that are relevant to the development of students in the 9th grade. As you progress, you'll have more relevant topics. 11th grade, you start looking at ACT prep. You start looking at different things in terms of filling out the FAFSA and learning how to navigate those things. Students are required to get these modules done during the week, and if they don't get it done during the week, then the mentor that they have or the staff will be able to see that they are off track, and then we can send them a note and say, hey, please take advantage of this opportunity, please share, and make sure you're getting back on track. So the students just need to answer a couple of questions that show that they've completed the video. Some of the topics include career planning, financial literacy, study skills, social and emotional learning. And here's another overview of some of the things. This is just what it would look like. Example curriculum for folks in the 9th grade. You got an intro to 9th grade, talk about attendance and why your GPA is important and all of these things. And for us, paying attention to the process of recruiting first generation and students of color, they often don't have the opportunity to compete for admission to the University of Minnesota because they have not been given the guidance that they need, and they don't understand that your 9th grade year counts towards graduation, and in the GPA that you get your 9th grade year is going to count. So we want to catch them early. We want to catch them in 8th grade so that when they come in to 9th grade, they can jump right into the on-track program and they can understand the process and what it takes. And I think this is especially important when we realize that Minnesota is 50th out of 50 states when it comes to high school guidance counselor to student ratio. I think it's something like 753 to 1. So it's important that they have a supplement. And we also talk about the Core 2025 program in general as being a supplement. It is not meant to replace or take away from any programs that are already existing. We've got programs that have been around for more than 50 years, like the TRIO program and others. But this program is specifically designed to catch the students who are in the middle. And one of the things that's really important to pay attention to is a recent study came out that talks about African American students, children of middle class, are much more likely to fall into poverty than any other demographic. And this is a challenge, and we have to pay attention because it's not always easy for those children in the middle, the children that aren't of the highest need, to get the kind of support, financial aid, and academic access to places like the University of Minnesota. And then we also want to continue to build the brand of the University of Minnesota so that students of color, first-generation students, have an affinity for the University of Minnesota, and they realize that this is a place for them because this is their land-grant institution. So listed some of our partners because we know we can't do it alone, and we wanted to just make sure that we acknowledge the folks who are working with us. So that is a quick overview